how to do automation at work. But my job is to sort of wake you up to be like, hey, what, why not think about doing this in your life, right? So I want to thank ProductCamp's sponsors and everything for Homes by the Mac Institute and Carnegie Mellon and Launchpad making this all possible. So I'm Chris. I've been doing this for a while. I've been doing digital nomad lifestyle and rising trend of solopreneurs. And so my job is to help people automate parts of their lives they're not necessarily thinking about, right? So for that, we cover like the problems with the routines. You know how to sort of like kind of manage your life, right? But how many parts of your life can you manage using automation tools? So if you're looking for like endless repetitive tasks, per pass that feel like it's on autopilot, right? And the 9 to 5 grind is sort of like limiting your creativity. Why not automate some of those things in your life already? Does anybody here have an example of something they've kind of automated outside of their work in their life that they kind of want to share? Or anything in your life right now that you feel is always a waste of time every time you do it? There you go, see? Taking out the trash. Right? But the opportunity here is automation isn't about replacing you, it's about upgrading yourself, right? Like you're trying to find something that you can do in your life that you just don't like doing, right? And this is something where it comes down to automation will free your mental bandwidth. Delegation creates that space for creativity. Because I teach digital nomad lifestyle, one of the things I've learned is people are stuck in 9 to 5, their creativity tends to go down because they're stuck in a routine, right? They know when 5 o'clock comes around, where do they go? HEB, pick up dinner, go home, and that repeats the next day, right? Digital nomads, they don't have that problem because they're never doing that, right? They're always traveling, and they have automation tools that keep them going. So what in your life would you like to automate and sort of have a team of virtual assistants and workflows work for you? Any examples that you might come up with? Maybe there's information out there that you would like to aggregate, right? And you like to automate and somehow figure like, what if I could make money doing that, right? So if that's the case, then if it drains you, delegate it, right? Find a way to automate that process and identify something that's of low value, but maybe you can turn that into something that you can make money on the side. Who here loves looking at, let's say, antique cars, right? And you're interested in that as a hobby. How many times do you have to search for things? Well, why not have that automated, have everything aggregated, sent to you, put that right there, and be like, hey, tell me the latest things that people are talking about for antique cars, right? And now you can turn that into sort of a newsletter, and then you can sell that. So hiring virtual systems sort of like manage your calendar, manage your inbox. So my recommendation is pick one task that you're kind of dealing with right now that you just don't like, and figure out how would I automate that? How would I get that out of my life that I can kind of push off and do something like that, right? Because if you're a product manager or you work in that area, who here uses automation tools at work? And you're very familiar with it, right? So why not do that for yourself, right? So the next example would be the career experiment canvas. Test a career like a product, right? What's something that you would like to do on the side that you think like, hey, how can I turn this into an automation system? And how would I be able to push that off and let it do its own thing? A data scientist who tested product management via a side project before transitioning, right? As a data scientist, what could you take and turn it into a business? Any examples? Well, what if I took traffic data and I turned all that information into how do autopilot systems work? I could take that, turn it into, let's say, a Twitter feed, have that run as a bot, and just send out information all the time. So if you think of it like your career experiment, like you do sort of like your career, you're going to find a way to make things efficient. Any questions so far? I know I'm kind of like pressed for time, and that's why I'm kind of running through this, and I didn't think I was going to be like caught in that time crunch. But anything that, if you have an idea of anything that comes up, because again, I know this because I've taught this so many times, and there's something in your life that you know like, hey, I keep doing this, or what if I just push this off that I can automate? Is it possible, right? Because I get every single question you can ask. So the next one is the data-driven life audit. You can't improve what you can't measure, right? So if you track one thing a week, what's your energy? And you sort of prioritize and categorize it of high value, low value, okay? And you decide, what can I automate, what should I delegate, and what should I double down on, okay? And if you think your life as a product roadmap, prioritize features that bring joy to you and have a good ROI. So, example would be like cutting 5 hours out of admin tasks that you just don't need to deal with. Who sits at their home and you go through emails just because it's struck them, right? Maybe you can yes, we have a judgmental filter, but having an AI system go in and just check all that for you, right? We have AI tools for that now, right? What was it, like Superhuman Inbox for a while? And it kind of like did all those tasks for you.
Can you create something that gets rid of the actual junk mail in the post office coming from there? That would be
a high school student that you would hire to go over there and do that for you.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, like these right here, you're going to kind of look at yourself and be like, hey, this is my schedule, this is what goes on, right? And so some case studies of that would be like, professional who automated admin tasks and launched a side business, right? How many times have you heard somebody like, hey, I did this for fun and all of a sudden I can turn it into something and now it pretty much pays all my bills, right? There's a lady around Austin who takes pictures of cute little dogs, right? And she puts it on Instagram. And she has thousands of followers, right? And because of that, guess what she can do? She can sell advertising of dog products. She can sell all kinds of cute little things. And you think that's an original idea? No. Do you know why? Because I've met that person and she got the idea from the person who does it in New York for cute little dogs. Right? So everything kind of has a chain connection to one another. But again, if you look at it sort of like, hey, how can I automate that? Why not? So another story would be a student who uses automation tools to free up their time to build a portfolio, right? All the projects a student works on, that should be your portfolio, right? You should put that into either a website or a LinkedIn project or your posts, because guess what? People are going to watch that, they're going to look at it, and they're going to see like, hey, he worked on that, that's what we're looking for. But you can automate that, right? How would you automate your schoolwork? I'm just curious.
So what are you using as a tool to automate?
So let's say you use Make or Zapier, right? I take a picture of this and it gets posted to my LinkedIn feed, right?
And what tool are you using for that? What's it called?
Zapier. You can use Zapier or Make.com, right? And so you can set up a workflow. Every time you take a picture, do this action, right? And it goes to, let's say, a spreadsheet, and it takes that and it will go post it for you, right? And you can connect ChatGPT if you want and write a post, put the image, and does it all for you, right? So it's not all of a sudden like you're taking out some steps where you don't necessarily have to do that anymore. Social media can be hard, and that's why it's a job for some people, Another one would be like a career changer who ran a small experiments and then transitioned into different industries. Right? I played with a few things here. I like this, and now I can go try these different things because I've built sort of a portfolio of all these different experiments. Right? And you have no idea who's watching what you're doing. People might reach out to you and say, hey, we're having that problem. Can we have a meeting? Yes.
Chris, I've got a tough one. Maybe I just lack imagination. You can help me think about it. So last week I had to reshop my insurance, and I do it every year. Homeowners, auto, all that goes up. And I worked with an agent, and she sent me, we spent 2 hours on the phone going through all the options, and all the while I was thinking, surely I could plug this into a system and have it do all the work for me and just spit out the answer. But it's so complicated, there's like 27 different variables on every insurance if you've ever done homeowners. For something like that, could you think of something to automate it?
Yes, absolutely, because there's AI bots now that just do insurance, right? And you can have them go through and look at all different policies that are constantly getting put out there. And be like, every Friday send me an update on what policies have changed according to all the big players, and let me see the report, right? And then base it off of the profile that you've given of your home, your car, your boat, or whatever, and you can constantly update and change all that stuff for you, right? Because it's giving you a full report, because you fed all the stuff that you have to it, right? And if you set it up exactly.
Them calling you?
What's that?
Can you gather that information without somebody that calling you?
Actually, you can compile the whole report and then just send it to the insurance and say, hey, this is what I should be having, right? Because now you have the data to support it, right? So the last one would be a data scientist who reviews large amounts of data, and then they turn that into a newsletter. There's a guy I know who runs a small newsletter. He's like 27 years old. He was a data scientist, and he thought, hey, I just collect data all the time. What can I do with this? So he set that up with a journalist and said, hey, let's take this raw data and let's turn it into stories. And he turned that newsletter into now 50,000 subscribers that each person pays $15 a month. Anybody want to do the math how much that newsletter brings in? Right. Most people would love to have that as a monthly income. So the big picture here, automation isn't about doing less. It's about trying to do more with what matters, right? Because you can find something, and in fact, Make Zapier, they have all these templates that you can go in and actually take templates and then connect them together and kind of plug things in, right? Hey, every time I get an email, send a response back to that person. Hey, every time I get a text message, log into a spreadsheet so I know, right? Hey, every time I take a picture of this, go put it on Google Maps and document it, right? So the talking points here is automation is all about leverage. Delegation equals freedom, and more data equals clarity as to what you're doing. And as more data comes in, your automations become a lot more simple. Any questions? Yes.
In your experience in going through this, what are the areas where you find that people aren't thinking about that they should or could be automating? Is there, like, it doesn't have to be specific, but like specific categories, you know, or general thoughts on that? Where are people missing?
I think a lot of it is because they're so stuck in their routine that they're just not realizing there's tools out there, right? Like I pay my bills, so most of the time we're all put them on autopilot, right? And then they're just auto pay. And then the other time is having the AI system go in and check, hey, am I paying too much in my bills? Can you double check for me? And it can go and check all that information if you set up that automation. You know? Other parts is people who travel, right? Like, hey, go out and check, am I getting the best deals? Am I doing this stuff? There are AI bots for that now. And you can go set one up for each different thing. Hotels, cruise ships, events, concerts, all that stuff. And if you bring it all together and then work as a team, and say, hey, every end of the month, send me a report for every travel thing I should be learning. So, yes?
So once you've gone through this process you've written up here, what's the next step?
The next step is either it improves your life and you find out like it has value, or you're gonna make money off of it, right? Because for some people, it's all about like, am I going to get more time back so I can spend more time with my family? Because that's what most people they're concerned with, right? And other people are just like, I just need to make a side hustle so I can make extra money to pay my bills.
Let me rephrase the question if I may. So you've come up with the one task that you want to delegate. How do you then go out and create that thing that will automate that task?
So that would be like a Zapier tool, right? Like you're gonna go into Zapier or Make.com and go build out that workflow. And because Zapier and all of them have AI integration, you can just tell them, hey, this is what I need, and it will build the workflow for you.
And I'm sorry, what were the name of those two things?
Make.com and Zapier. There's another one, but it's, well, in my opinion, a little more harder to set up. But to leave you with something, because I know it's 11 o'clock, your 7-day challenges, pick a task, find something to delegate that you think would be easy to automate, and see what you come up with. Run the experiment, and try it out. So,
Quick question, on the two programs, you said your data is incorporated the systems that have access to your data, correct?
yes, you can plug in your data into a spreadsheet, upload that.
What I'm saying is their security is that they have your data.
If it's Make.com, that's not necessarily, right? Like they're not training on that data. Like the AI tool that's built into there is just looking
So your
at it.
data is siloed off into your own security zone?
Yeah.
It's like that, but
Yeah, they're not training on it.
And what are these things called? What's the?
But if anybody wants to keep in touch, that's my LinkedIn, that's my email. And I know it was a very quick presentation because I think there's an 11 o'clock presenter as well.
11:10.
11:10?
yeah.
Oh, so we have time.
Schedule says.
It said 10:30 on the thing.
Yeah.
So
So,
You've referenced a few Paul's
any
insurance.
questions?
Yeah. So Paul, you were talking about with Paul insurance bots and travel bots.
Yep.
How are you going about finding those bots?
So there's a tool there's an AI tool for that. And if you go to the website, in fact, if anybody that's on their phone, if you just search it up, there's an AI tool for that. You can go in there and just type what it is you're looking for. And because
And what is that tool?
it's a database.
I know, but what's the name of it?
There's an AI tool.
That's the name.
Let me bring it up. I'll bring it up real quick because we got lots of time, so we can play that. Okay, so right here, I would probably say get better browsers. Sorry to tell you that, but if you're using Edge, you probably are using better browsers. So there's an AI tool, right? And so here is a database of all of that stuff, right? And so you can see this right here. Yeah. And all you have to do is just type in what you're looking for, right? So if I want insurance, insurance advice, insurance analysis, claims, there's two already that exist. And so if I go right here, I can look at the two tools and see what they do and then see if it helps me, and I can try them out, right? So the idea here is that like thousands and thousands of these AI tools have been marketed every week, and you can go into this database and test them out and play with them, right? So
Is there a dashboard for that, what your integration is?
Yes. So like if you get an account, you can go in and keep track of all the ones that you like, right? And then it can take you to the tool, and you can go in and start looking at like, okay, this is cool, I like this.
So your database, they're integrated in all these tools and you can use them for your one database.
Yeah, if you want, right, like
And
whichever.
where is your database is stored at, where you put your data in?
So it's either going to be inside your Mate, or it's going to be inside your ChatGPT account, right, for your API key, or whichever tool it
And it's
is.
all separated off in silos for security.
Right, yeah. Because it's all pulling from different things.
I think, Chris, this is not itself an AI tool, it's just a
This
clearinghouse.
is a database.
Right.
It's just a
It
database.
manages all your data for you.
Yeah.
It's a list of AI tools.
Exactly.
It's the actual, yeah.
So literally, you're just typing in what is out there, and it's just showing you, right? Like other than that, it's
Yeah.
just a.
But if you do like medical field, form some tool here, and then insurance too, they're not gonna talk to each other. It's not part of this.
They could connect. That's what Zapier's for.
Oh, right, yeah. But I'm just trying to answer Sam.
Right.
Sam's question. This itself is just a, just a
Yes.
symbol.
So that here is what you're embracing.
My question is, so, we have like, build versus buy.
Yeah.
When would you like conceptually like a framework, when is it better to find a tool that's already made versus one where I need to be more custom, right? Because something like health records and things like that, like I probably want not to send that data externally.
So that's the part that comes in and says, I want to go see what people have already done. Let me play with it and see if I need to build it myself, or if there's already one that with the same time I can use that.
Right, so this is a fault. Are there like big red flags? Like if you see this on an AI tool, don't use it at all. Like if you have an example of that or.
So for example, like if it's going to train on everything and it goes to a model that you have no idea who's using that model, right? And if it's not from OpenAI, which just trains on everything, right? Then you have no idea where that model sits, right? So if that is the case where you're giving medical, personal information, don't use it, right? Because if it's not clear on its data policy.
Oh, okay. That's gonna be my next. Like, what would you do to vet the tool? I guess if there's no policy, then assume it's not good.
I would double check, right? Because look how many like AI models exist on HuggingFace, right? Like there's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of AI models out there that most people have to know who exist. But if you're not reading everything and you're just picking up a project that some person made in a college class, yeah, be careful.
All right.
Do you have any recommendations on tutorials or sites to go to learn to do like the Zapier integration or tying the Zapier into one of these AI tools?
Yep, I'll show you right now. So this is the one that I went through a long time ago. Make Academy is probably, in my opinion, the most robust program out there to learn automation to get started. You can go in, you can get certified in all your levels, and I will tell you this, it will take you a long time to go through this. Okay, it is very, very in-depth, and it will cover every aspect of automation, right? Because once you cover this, you pretty much can take this knowledge and go to any platform and utilize it everywhere, right? Because most of the tools they use are pretty universal, right? Like routers, iteration tools, webhooks, things like that. Most other automation platforms also use the same thing. So I would definitely say enroll, it's free, but each course, each area, like introduction, agents, all those areas, it's going to take you a while, right? So just plan out if you're going to do one, like 3-4 hour sessions at a time. Yes?
But how do I vibe code then? Can I just like code build it for me?
So these are workflows, right? Like this is not code.
My code builds work.
And that's why Make also has an AI tool for that. Yeah. So you don't have to go to Claude. Because
But I don't have to go to the academy, your Claude knows all of that.
And I could also build something that just orders my pizza and then does my laundry and then also does my stuff for my kids and junk mail. I can vibe code that too.
So early in your presentation, you referenced virtual assistants.
Yes.
That's just people working remotely for you, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Because again, the idea here is like, if your workflow happens to have a mistake because they didn't update that day, your virtual assistant can keep track of that, right? If you're at work, hey, it's still running, I need to make sure that everything's still happening, right? And that's the importance of virtual assistants, is just having eyes in the sky so you can just make sure things are fine. Any questions? I think that's 11 of 8.